All right, Rafe, are you ready for this week's E-Memoriam?
Let's do it,
Let's
baby.
go. Here's your music. Who we saying goodbye to?
Yeah, we have a few people this week at the E-Memoriam. For those of you not familiar or not familiar with the show, every Friday we do a send-off, much like the Oscars E-Memoriam, of people we lost this week, figuratively and literally. Sometimes it's people we angered with our opinions or our things we talked about. Sometimes it's lonely incels that just have nothing better to do than to email the show, and sometimes it's ourselves. Whoever it is, no one can escape the wrath of the E-Memoriam, so let's get it started. This week, first up, Riz's monkey rules. Yeah, we said goodbye yesterday to Riz's no monkeys in the studio rule. One yesterday, unbeknownst to him, upper management, or anyone else in the building, I foolishly entrusted a guy named Monkey Man Dan and his wife Texan, it's always good when they rhyme, to smuggle 5 monkeys onto the premises, including 3 little babies and 2 full adult spider monkeys, all in their adorable little monkey diapers.
You know, the fact that you have to say that it's a rule, no monkeys in the studio, and that rule be broken really says something about this job.
We work in the coolest job ever.
The fact that I had to say it and then that rule was broken is just crazy.
Had to say it out loud. Still didn't get respected. I apologize for that. These little monkeys crashed Learn's 40th birthday party like a furry little SWAT team in the middle of a broadcast to surprise Learn, who was shocked and excited, and also surprise Riz, who was pretty much just shocked. In the process, I deputized my 2 dear friends and co-hosts, Moon and King. Well, less deputized and more made accomplices. But anyway, they were accessories to my primate crimes. That being said, they both held the line, and I appreciate that, boys. You kept the secret, and we got the monkeys in the studio, thus and thereby abolishing this unjust rule of no monkeys in the studio. And I'll admit, guys, I'm not too big to admit, there was a moment when I saw a full-grown 4-year-old spider monkey go for the airsoft gun and thought, well,
dude,
this is going to be a horrible ending to STL Radio's flagship morning show.
That was crazy. Honestly, okay, fellas.
Yeah.
The fact that you knew a monkey was coming in and you didn't put stuff
it
away.
Well,
the jelly beans are out.
We were told it was tamed.
Yeah, I thought they knew the gun safety thing.
The airsoft gun was out.
Well, we did bring the cakes in first, and that could have really been
a disaster.
We did think that one through.
We did think that through. But, and listen, I'll admit, when the monkey went for the gun, I thought, hey, this is, what a way to go out. STL's flagship show. And I couldn't help feel, honestly, I felt a little foolish that this was the second time a monkey's pulled a gun on me. But you know what? What happens in Tijuana stays in Tijuana.
Dude, just seeing that little monkey hand come up.
Don't worry, I'm getting there. What happens in Tijuana stays in Tijuana. But that's the second time I let a great ape get to drop on me. It won't happen again. When I watched the same monkey's paw float past Learn's coffee cup and hover inches above the soundboard that controls the entire signal of KPNT's transmitter that broadcasts for hundreds of miles, and I saw Scott Rizzuto's eyes filled with equal parts fear and rage, I did have a brief moment of doubt that a mistake may have been made.
Would you have? Because that monkey came close to coming over here. It's coming to my side.
I was...
what would you have done?
I might have just left and went home. I don't know. I was alarmed. When its hand floated past the coffee cup over Learn's little squeeze ball, and I saw its hand started to glow from the orange button, and I was like, this is not good.
Dude. I was really, if you watch the video, I was like very protective over this area.
Would you have smacked it?
I scooted as close as I could get comfortable with, because I thought, if this goes over, I'm the first line of defense.
Would you have tackled the monkey?
I was.
Oh my God!
That's why I put the phone in my left hand, and I was like, I'm gonna have
Holy
to.
cow!
I'm gonna have to grab this thing with my right arm. But it never crossed this one line. Thank goodness, because it kind of freaked me out.
Oh my God!
When I talked to the guy on the phone, he said, "Hey, my wife has these monkeys in the palm of her hand. They're like trained dogs. They'll sit." They'll roll over. They'll do whatever my wife says. And it became clear to me when they got in here that was not true. Those monkeys.
They were very nice, by the way.
They were awesome.
They were so
They were
cool.
amazing people.
Dan the Monkey Man.
But I feel like there was one too many monkeys.
The monkeys run the show.
And it felt like the monkeys didn't listen to everything she said. And you know what? They were in a new environment. They are primates. There was a lot going on in here. But you know what? All's well that ends well. And now
It was amazing.
And by the way, nothing can prepare you for 5 spider monkeys, unbeknownst to you walking into a room.
Nothing.
No.
And were you guys also surprised by their size?
Yeah.
I had
I
no
was.
idea they got that big.
I was.
And they said that they have a couple that are way bigger than those.
I expected Marcel from Friends.
Me too,
And we
that's what I
got
thought it
Clyde
was.
from Every Which Way But Loose. And
Well,
that's fine.
Well, the one baby monkey grabbed onto Learn's neck and hair, and that got me. I saw
That
the
was
look
the
on her.
baby.
Yeah, but it was,
Yeah, that was the baby, but I saw the look on Learn's face.
Well, she's just
and my
paranoid about
face.
losing her hair. Yeah,
No.
there was a moment.
some monkey strength going on.
Yeah.
The
That was
baby
amazing.
monkey did not want to be, once Chi-Chi realized Learn was
Chi-Chi.
his mama, he did not want to be removed from mama.
Yeah,
and it was cute, but also a little scary.
I made the mistake of having my hair down because that one over there just kept. He liked to
Grabbing your
pull
pulling your
yeah,
hair?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, but his tail would wrap around my leg, and it
that's-
felt so cool. I'm
I
like, this is
know.
the
Who would've
best.
thought?
And that was so strong too. He
Yeah.
was like anchoring me.
Like, I like these guys. I understand them.
Well,
No more monkeys in the studio, okay? Can we
No more monkeys
well, please.
jumping on the board.
How long of a time frame are we talking about?
forever?
all's well that ends well, and we're all now chimp crazy. No promises. Bye-bye. Speaking of no promises, next up, my guaranteed employment at Hubbard Radio. To pivot off of the monkey rule, yeah, sometimes it is better to beg forgiveness than ask permission. I don't know if this was one of those circumstances. The bosses were gone at opening day, and I haven't really seen them yet. So, as a preventative measure, in case this is my last broadcast, it's been a pleasure, St. Louis, serving
done,
you.
Rick. Thank
and
you.
What a way to go.
Thank you for your service.
If you're going to go out, second time monkeys have gotten me fired from a job. Again, what happens in Tijuana stays in Tijuana. Bye-bye. Next up, nice nipple guy. You know, guys, this one really bugged me. This week we had this is an apology, a rare apology from the Riz Show. We had to apologize to a male fitness influencer this week because we could not take him seriously because, frankly, his nipples stole the show. He was dropping nutritional wisdom of his rigid schedule and sculpting biceps like Michelangelo, but all we could focus on were those hypnotic chocolate pepperoni slices staring back at us. Our bad. We'll try to watch your video again.
It was that guy that went viral last weekend with his morning routine, which starts at 3 o'clock in the morning.
And ends at 3 o'clock in the morning the next day.
Yeah.
And him dunking his face in water 15 times, push-ups, swimming, working
Not just
out.
water either. Saratoga Spring.
Saratoga spring water. And those glorious, glorious nipples of his.
Yeah, he just had to. He had.
Intoxicating.
Yes, he did. He had hypnotic Hershey Kiss nipples that we couldn't take our eyes off of, and we missed the point. We lost the plot.
Did you call them perfect Picasso nips?
They were Picasso nips.
They were beautiful.
Thing of art.
As soon as we put them on the big screen, I lost focus. Everything was like, whoa, look at those.
We were entranced by your nips, and we apologize, nice nipple guy. I don't even know your name.
Ashton.
Next time we'll remember, Ashton, your eyes are up here. Bye-bye. Next up, overrated dog breeds. Yeah, that's right. Talking to you, Chihuahua, which is Spanish for rat with a Napoleon complex. We talked about overrated dog breeds this week, and we settled on one that we all agreed on, and that's the Chihuahua. Lost forever, the most overrated, shaking, bug-eyed rat masquerading as a dog. Your Chihuahua isn't a pet, man. It's a perpetually angry purse gremlin with the personality of a drunk guy at a Waffle House at 3 a.m. Chihuahuas don't bark, they shriek. The high-pitched squeal of the mythical trauma goblin. And yet these shivering tyrants are treated like royalty? Well, guess what? We are over it, Chihuahuas. Yo quiero bye-bye. Next up, Learn's 30s. She's not here, so I'll keep it brief, but we say goodbye to Learn's 30s. And fellas, I, for one, am glad she can stop lording it over us on the show. It's one of her favorite pastimes, and now she can put it to rest. Her favorite thing is to remind us all that we're in our 40s. And she's always made it out as if she's 35 years younger than the rest of us.
We have nobody in their 30s on the show anymore.
That's right.
Dang.
Welcome to hell, Learn. Welcome to hell. Because young kids don't care. You think there's a difference between us being 46 and you being 40? Not in the eyes of anyone under 40, my friend. You're just in your 40s. So welcome to hell. That's right, your 30s are gone. A decade filled with rock concerts, questionable tattoos, and mornings where Advil was still optional. Learn as you bravely march into 40, my friend. We salute the years you could still party without needing a 3-day recovery period and remembering your chiropractor's phone number by heart. You'll miss the days when you still got carded buying your boxed wine when people said, "No way you're over 30. It actually meant it. And when a hangover was just one day instead of a week-long hostage situation. So here's to you, learn. Welcome to your 40s. Your 30s were great, but your 40s are about to rock even harder, just probably with orthopedic inserts. So if she's listening on her way to Copper Fire, or anybody else listening on her way to Copper Fire, make sure if you take her fireball shots today, you chase it with a couple ibuprofen. Bye-bye. And finally, this week's rant, boys. I think we all know what this is going to be. Guys claiming their hands are registered weapons. Today we mourn a generation of tough guys. Those grown men have been telling bar stories for decades about how their hands are legally registered weapons with the federal government. We had a professional MMA fighter call in and ruin the day of guys with black belts in Taekwondo, Judo, and the ancient art of bullshido. Guess what, boys? Your hands aren't weapons. They're just sweaty meat beaters, and the most damage they've ever done is when you banged them against a keyboard or cell phone to email the show and claim that you had a certificate from the government claiming otherwise.
But I signed it with the county.
I seen it. These certificate holders were so sure that the real estate just beyond their wrists were such lethal weapons that they refer to their mittens as Danny Glovers. And as they slowly slide their hands in, they gently whisper, "I'm getting too old for this, Riggs." You're not a secret government weapon like Jason Bourne or Ben Affleck in The Accountant. You're just Jason from accounting. And those pleated khakis you're wearing are 5-pocket Dockers, not military-issued office fatigues with 2 combat-grade front trouser holsters. Get over it. Guy named Matt from Warranted even went as far, guys, to call in.
He did.
And say with his own mouth, live on the air for 1.5 million listeners, that he signed paperwork with the county of St. Louis as a black belt in judo, which we pointed out is mostly hip tosses. And we are yet to walk into any government.
Was very convincing.
Very convincing.
It was very convincing.
Very convinced. Him and his buddy, quote unquote. And if your art is mostly hip tosses, I got to be honest, we never walked into a government building and see a sign that says no knives, firearms, or pelvises allowed. Sir, it says here on your county ID that you are a black belt in judo, so we're going to need you to remove your pants and underwear and go full Donald Duck because we don't allow concealed hips here in the Warrenton DMV.
Well, if you're pulled over, do you have to disclose to the officer that you have registered hips in the car?
You better sit on the dash.
Exactly. God forbid you'd ever need an artificial hip. That's like putting a bump stock on an AR-15. The ATF would have to get involved for your illegal modifications. Weapons like that are strictly prohibited, trademark. No blades.
Prohibited. Nice.
No bows. Leave your hips here. Let's be clear, guys. No one has needed or ever has registered your fists unless you've chopped them off and jammed 2 machetes in the bloody stumps where they used to be. If your name ain't Captain Hook or Edward Scissorhands, TSA probably ain't going to pull you out of line. The government ain't getting involved just because you once took 2 weeks of Taekwondo at the local strip mall. So R.I.P. to this ridiculous urban legend and to every black belt who spent time bragging at an Applebee's rather than actually fighting somebody. Bye-bye! And now on to the real RIPs. Brian McKenna, local radio personality, tragically lost him this week. And legend George Foreman. Not only a heavyweight boxer, personality, but a special salute. As a creator of a grill, he will get a pork steak army burial, an official pork steak army burial, and a 21-tong salute. Here's to you, George. And that concludes this week's E-Memoriam.
Thank you.